Hey everybody, what up? Welcome back to Hearthstone Arena Mana and Sand. I'm Jim, and we are drafting a brand new deck here. Well, you guys have seen me play some Warrior, you've seen me play some Shaman outside of HAMS. It was my original arena deck. You know what I haven't played any of? Druid. So I think we're going to draft a Druid deck. So, for those of you who don't know, Druid gimmick is basically mana acceleration and cards like this one, where you get to, when you play it, you get to choose one. This is not, let's see. So, our current choices are Ancient Watcher, which I really don't prefer because it can't attack. If you can find a way to silence it or something like that, it's not terribly bad for a 2-drop, but then you're using 2 cards just to get to make your 4/5 effective. Or give it taunt. Taunts, if you can, play a Defender of Argus behind it or something like that, not so bad. Twilight Drake can be okay. Especially if if you can coin into it, get it on turn 3, something like that. It can be very hard to handle. Nourish can be alright. It's definitely, like I said, mana acceleration or card draw. It can be pretty handy. But you gotta wait till turn 5 to be able to pull that off. Turn 4 if you want to coin into it. So, I think right now, off the bat, I think we take the Twilight Drake. Okay, so we're offered removal, and the Murloc Tidehunter. I'm not a particularly big fan of the Murlocs outside of Constructed. They're just flat out, generally speaking, better cards. The only reason for their cost, the only reason that they cost what they do and give you what they do is because they have the Murloc tag and Murloc stuff synergizes, etc., etc. So, do we take Claw or do we take Swipe? I think we take Swipe. It's some of the best removal that the Druid, class has to offer. Okay, so right now we have been offered Amani Berserker, Spellbreaker, Dark Iron Dwarf. Dark Iron Dwarf, super solid. Amani Berserker can be handy in the right circumstances. It's a nice 2-drop that if you can get it to enrage becomes a 5/2. So, that can be really nice. But Spellbreaker, you get a decent creature and a silence battle cry. It's one of the best cards in the game right now. Even though it's taking 3/4 drops in a row, I say we take the Spellbreaker just to have that silence and that sort of thing. Okay, Mind Control, very situational. Defender of Argus, I don't think we need it right now. Questing Adventure, one of those cards that a lot of people really like, and if you're doing well, if you play it right, this thing can really snowball out of control, especially stacking buffs on it, and it's buffing itself, etc., etc. Unless silence or something like that gets played, which people really like to do, because again, snowballs out of control really fast. So this can be handy. We're gonna take the Questing Adventurer, I think. Okay. Not a huge fan for that one health. Our other options are Ironbark Protector, which is a huge taunt, and Silvermoon Guardian, which, it can be okay. It gets the Divine Shield. Divine Shield generally gets you some fairly preferable trades, but I just think, I just don't prefer it. I think we take the huge taunt here in the Ironbark. Alright, this is a fairly easy choice. Not particularly good unless you're a hunter. Not particularly good the whole way around. If this were like an 8/6, once you get past about 7 attack, You really, I mean, the difference between 7 and 9 and is not particularly huge. You start to be able to just trade willy nilly for pretty much anything. So more health, on the other hand, would be particularly handy. I think this is just, for its cost, for what it does, is just too easily removed, too easily taken care of. You spend 7 mana on a Core Hound, your opponent spends 4 mana on a Polymorph. So I think we take another swipe. Okay, cool. So now we've got some low drops here. Leper Gnome, pretty good. I enjoy that. But quite frankly, I think, no. Again, they're just better cards that do what this does. And then right here, I mean, it's a 1/1, but it comes with a point of removal, which can be very handy. Help you make some trades you wouldn't normally. Get rid of some stuff behind a taunt wall or something like that. Alright, Mark of Nature. You can either give +4 attack or +4 health and a taunt, which is really nice. Moonfire, not bad. I mean, it's 0 cost, 1 damage, but we haven't been handed any, spell damage or anything like that, so it's not necessarily worth taking. I think we're really good on the... I mean, this is a little bit of card draw and some removal, which is not bad. But this can give us something, beef something up and give us a taunt, or give us +4 attack, which is really nice, and it only costs 3, so it can kind of, and it, meshes well with things like Questing Adventurer, or, Twilight Drake, stuff like that. So I think we're actually going to take a Mark of Nature here. Alright, so... alright, yeah, again, we've discussed Core Hound. Young Dragonhawk, not bad if it's a Hunter deck, or so you have a way of, buffing it up and that sort of thing. Unfortunately, we don't have a ton of that, so I think the solid play here is just take the Amani Berserker. Alright, so this is fairly easy. Super situational, but, that's is what it is. Cold Light Oracle, it gives both players card draw. So, and it's a 2/2, and 2/2 Murloc, again, not particularly big fan of the Murloc cards in Arena. In Constructed, if you're playing a Murloc deck, that's just fine. Emperor Cobra, on the other hand, is super dangerous, and it has super nifty ability. You can toss it at something, doesn't matter how big the minion is, it dies, so Emperor Cobra is the choice there. Alright, 2 removable. This could be nice. This could be alright. Frostwolf Warlord can be really, really good if you manage to if you have some board control and that sort of thing. Boulderfist Ogre, solid card. I definitely like it, but right now I think we take the Frostwolf Warlord. Alright, so nifty taunt. You know what though? I'm hoping we get some Druids of the Claw. That's a Druid only card that basically is this but better, or it goes on the offensive. It's it's the either-or choice that is the shtick of the Druid. We've talked about a Young Dragonhawk. You know what? I think we could take Starfire right now for that big removal and a little bit of card draw. Okay, so we've been... choices. Worgen Infiltrator, one of the best 1-drops in the game. And we are lacking in that early game, which is, could be really nice. Give a minion 2/2 plus taunt. Not bad. Or, again, the Fen Creeper. I think right now we buff our early game with the Worgen Infiltrator. Oh, ooh. Okay. Harvest Golem, super solid. It basically is, when it dies, gives you another creature. It's a ton of stats for its cost. And, it is all around a very, very solid card. Worgen Infiltrator, again, we we just discussed that. We might take a second one of these, actually. Stormwind Champion. I'm kind of a fan of it, because it buffs up all of your, everything friendly on the field, if you can get it out. And it's a 6/6, which is a little bit hard to remove. It's a fairly solid card, in all honesty. But, again, one of those cards that's kind of difficult to get on the field. Nice when you have it, but, if you can't manage to get it out, you can't manage to get it out. It's not particularly a game changer. So I think we take another Worgen Infiltrator here. And I think we're not terrible on the early game right now. So here we go. Power of the Wild, give one of your minions +1/+1, or summon a 3/2 Panther. Not bad. This could be minion or a buff. I like it. Very much like it. Monty Berserker. Okay. Maybe. Definitely. I mean, this is a choice. And then Priestess of Elune. I've never had a game that would have been, I would have won if I had 4 more health. I've never said those words. So I think what we do here is I think we take the power of the Wild, because options are good. Okay. This guy is weirdly situational. I mean, I guess he wouldn't be terribly bad. I mean, he's very nice. He's very strong for his cost, but he makes all of your other minions cost 3 more, which can be kind of rough. Less so on the Druid if you have if you're built to accelerate, mana acceleration, but we definitely are not. Let's see, Razorfen Hunter puts on a 1/1 boar with it, and then this is either 3 damage to a minion or 1 damage and draw a card. So, you know what? I think we choose Wrath here. We take the removal and card draw, or big removal. And all right, so okay, Savage Roar. This is +2 attack to everybody. Druid of the Claw. This is what I was talking about. This isn't even really a choice. We got to take Druid of the Claw because I don't think we have any taunt. Well, no, we have the Ironbark Protector, but that is not going to get us through. So this can be a 4/6 taunt, or it can have charge. So this is a super versatile card. It is really, really nice. I love it. I love it a lot. So Druid of the Claw all the way. So, Bluegill Warrior, no. We are just not going to have weapons, so this is not, we're not getting full value out of this card at all. I think we take the Wild Growth here. That's a very easy choice. Alright, Magma Rager, too easily removed with the 1 health. You get a mage or something like that, and they just ping it away, and it's done. You don't even get to use this most of the time. Starfire, stacked up against another Druid of the Claw, which is, again, super handy, super versatile. Absolutely love it. I think we have enough removal for the time being that we can actually, we have Starfire and the Elven Archer and 2 swipes. Yeah, we have enough removal that we can pass on the Starfire for another Druid of the Claw. Okay. Keeper of the Grove. Deal 2 damage or silence a minion. Super handy. Love it, love it, love it. It can be removal or silence. It's kind of like a slightly weaker Spellbreaker that could do damage instead. Angry Chicken. Oh my lord. Angry Chicken. It could be great. But with 1 health, getting this you have to buff it to get that enrage to go off. So, I mean, maybe in other decks, but ours not designed to do that. So, and then there's Bite. You give your hero +4 attack and 4 armor. Not bad. Could be interesting, but I think we opt for the second silence this time around. Dragonlane Mechanic, very solid card, gets you 2 minions, basically it's going to get you 9 points in stats for 4, which is really good. It is a super solid card. Versus Healing Touch, again, if you're doing well, you never need cards like this. This is basically putting cards in your deck, planning for failure. Maybe if I were playing a super back-end, like, mana curve deck that had a bunch of heavy hitters, I might need to buy some time and put stuff like this in. I don't see that happening with this deck. I think we're actually alright. So Wrath, I think, is going to be our choice, though. We take the removal / card draw, and we move on. Ventrico Mercenary, Southsea Deckhand, Ironforge Rifleman. You know what? In all honesty here, I think we take the Ventrico Mercenary. It comes out on, turn 5, turn 4 if you want to coin into it. And it is just a huge threat. It forces the enemy to deal with it. So I think we do that. Yep, we take a Ventrico Mercenary. Alright, well, we've discussed these 3 cards before, and I think we take a second Frostwolf Warlord. So yeah, that happened. Offered a third swipe, but versus a Magma Rager. Silverhand Knight is widely regarded as a very solid card. 4/4, gets you another 2/2. And yeah, I think we have quite a bit of removal here between Wrath and Swipe. Starfire. So I think we're good. That's 5 just pure power, like removal cards. So I think we need to start taking some minions that we can put out on the field. All right. We have nothing that gets Divine Shield, so we can't reliably, work with this. We'd have to rely on the enemy having Divine Shield plays in its deck. Big Game Hunter. Game Hunter can be super... it's situational, but it can be super handy. Like I was talking about, things like Questing Adventurer, they snowball super fast. They like to buff that attack. People like to buff that attack up, get those huge numbers going. Something like Big Game Hunter getting dropped on the field and just killing it, that can be super good. And then there's Sea Giant, which, depending on how the game's going, if people are making efficient trades and things, your opponent is doing well on the board, you're never really going to have enough minions out to make this worthwhile. So, honestly, I think we take the Big Game Hunter here. Okay, so Flesh-Eating Ghoul, Gurubashi Berserker, Mark of the Wild. We have 2 Druids with the Claw, and we have the Iron Bark, but we don't really have much in the way of other taunts, which I think... In all honesty, though, I think we need more minions, just things we can put on the field. Because I think what we need to do is, in this case, this is another one of those cards that people really like. Snowballs very, very quickly. But at the same time, this can buff up something we already have on the field and keep it out longer, and gets us some taunt. So, who knows? Man. Someone is raging watching me try to make this decision right now. I just know it. Yeah, I think we take the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Alright, let's see. Ironfur Grizzly is a taunt. It's a 3/3. It's just a little underpowered. I'd much rather have Ascension Shield Master, which is a 3/5 for 1 more mana. This is not bad in a hunter deck because it's a beast, but again, you know, 3/3 for 3 with a taunt. It's just a little underpowered. It gets removed a little too easy, in my opinion. Another Wild Growth or a Boulder Fist Ogre, which I think we take the Boulder Fist Ogre here. It's nice little bit of extra punch there at the end. Nope. No weapons, so this is never going to be really worth it to us. This, on the other hand, this can get us extra value out of our minions currently on the field, and it's a very solid card. I like it. Okay. Destroy minion and your opponent draws 2 cards. Again, never had a game that was, man, if I only had 4 more health. Innervate, on the other hand, drop 0, gain 2 mana to use right there on the spot. Super handy. Super, super handy. Let you make plays you normally wouldn't be able to. Okay. I wonder here. So, Young Priestess can be super good. It'll sit there and it'll buff and it'll buff and it'll buff. If you can get it behind a taunt wall or something like that, it works really, really well. However, I don't know how much. Yeah, we don't really have much in the way of card draw, but we have a bunch of spells. So Gadgetzan Auctioneer could pay for himself really easily in this deck, I think. So I think we take Gadgetzan Auctioneer. Alright guys, that's our Druid deck, and I'm sure that it is poorly crafted, has many, many holes, as someone will tell me. You chose poorly. So, alright guys, feel free to rage in the comments, also feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next game.